I'm from Zero Waste Saigon, and I want to talk to you about what zero waste actually is. So zero waste is a philosophy, and it's really a way of living where we can try and reduce waste as much as possible. To be zero waste, you don't actually have to be perfect. Zero waste is an ideal that we're always trying to work towards. So what we say, we call ourselves Zero Waste Saigon, but really we're a little bit of waste Saigon, because we can't be perfect, and you shouldn't expect yourselves to be perfect either. But to be zero waste, we're always trying to reduce our waste more. So zero waste is actually a worldwide movement. There's people in every country that are doing efforts that are zero waste, and some of them have even been able to get public policy changes and governmental changes. And we're starting to see some of that influence actually happen here in Vietnam as well. This is what I typically think of when I think of where does my trash go when we throw it away. If you think about the life cycle, we usually think, okay, it's going to go to a landfill somewhere. And I'm hoping that by the time my 3-year-old son is my age, he looks back at this picture and thinks, wow, my dad and his generation were barbarians. And I can't believe they actually just thought it was okay to throw all this stuff somewhere with no plan at all. We've gotten used to this being the case, and we need to reprogram the way we think about it. So this is my son.
And now to see your new plastic.
He really is the reason why this is so important to me. It really is not fair to the next generation that we don't do something about this. The trash is not only ending up in a landfill. As probably many of you know, it's ending up in the oceans as well. It goes down the storm drains into the ocean. And also we have a big problem with illegal dumping. That's why it's a major concern. Animals are not used to it. They cannot dodge the plastic. When a whale goes to eat all those little tiny shrimps, it can't get away from the plastic. It has to eat it. It's forced to. So there's just no other option. Same thing happens with fish. So we're actually eating the plastic ourselves because we're eating the fish that are ingesting these, digesting the chemicals, and they're coming into our own bodies that way. The UN report was just done. They project that within the next 20 years, there's going to be 1 million species that are going to go extinct. And the pollution crisis is a major factor in that. So this really is the crisis of our times, and we really need to do as much as we can about it as quickly as possible. Vietnam is one of the top 5 countries that pollutes the ocean with plastic the most, and Vietnam generates about 18,000 tons of plastic waste daily. We are an organization. Our intention is to reduce waste, all types of waste, as much as possible. We started out as a Facebook group, and it was just a community meeting place. And then based on what the community needed, we grew and expanded what our programs were. So now we have an education program where we go into schools and we go into businesses like this and help educate. We also have a website where we sell sustainable products. So we tried to think of anything that you could possibly use that would create waste, and we try to find a solution from it. So you can see some of the stuff there. Razors, there's a couple different ways that you can go zero waste. It's replace some of the single-use stuff with reusable items that you can use over and over again and don't have to throw away. And then the other option is to use something that at the end of its cycle is compostable. So it's going to go back into nature and just be eaten by another organism and will not stay in the environment like plastic does, which can last up to 500 years. So we have businesses that we help them reduce their waste. So we will actually go and do full waste audits of businesses and then give them a tailored plan and help them implement waste reduction. Lastly, we do big awareness campaigns. Maybe some of you have seen this. This is Strawpocalypse. We had over 500 volunteers collect plastic straws from the streets for 6 months, and they ended up collecting 168,000 straws. We got a Guinness World Record for it. It really was a way for us to help people connect with the problem in an emotional way. So because it's oddly beautiful, it got spread really widely, and it ended up creating really good conversation. So, we can give people stats and figures, but sometimes when we have something like a piece of art, it's emotionally resonant. So we try to do that kind of thing as well. We've already talked about why it's good for the environment for us to reduce our waste, but there are some other more personal reasons as well. You can actually save money. I'm going to show you specific examples of ways to reduce our waste, and we'll talk about how each of these can save you money, save energy, and also, of course, a better future for the next generation. So now I just want to get into some of the ways that we reduce waste. You guys are making products here. As far as I understand, you guys are making fabrics and things for shoes. When we're thinking about product design, it's really great to have this zero waste mindset, because first of all, you can design a new product around what the problem is and try to find as natural a solution as possible. Also, when we're thinking about zero waste thinking, we're thinking about the full life cycle of the product. So it's actually a more efficient way of thinking. So if you're forced to think of the end cycle, you might use a different material, because at the end of the cycle, you might be able to redeem that material for another revenue value, to resell it for a recycle price. One thing we developed is this green grass straw. So we knew that there was a problem with straws. There wasn't really much being done about it here. A farmer that was making bamboo straws came to us and said, "Hey, do you think this would work? Do you think people would like it?" And we said, let us talk to some of our customers. We loved it. And one of the problems with the bamboo straw is people didn't want to carry it with them everywhere they went. So it seemed like a better solution to just have the restaurants switch over. And the green grass straw was great because it's less expensive and it's single use. So the restaurants could just take it, use it, throw it away like they normally would, and they wouldn't have to do this complex washing process like they would with the reusable bamboo. So anyway, it's really an amazing thing, because the grass just grows like that, right? So we were able to cut out all this processing that has to happen with a plastic straw, because we used the natural design of the grass itself for the function that we needed. And now it's super popular. It's everywhere. You can see it in so many restaurants. A lot of people have probably seen it. And now it's really spreading from Vietnam to the rest of the world. Okay, so these are going to be tips for at home. First one is the easiest one, and you don't have to buy anything. It's just a simple refusal. So when you're out at a restaurant, when you order your drink, just remember to ask for it with no plastic straw. So I would like a water, please. No plastic straw. That's just the mantra that you need to learn, because you have to say it right when you order the drink, or else if you forget, then it's too late. They'll come back and they'll give you the plastic straw, and it's gone. So this is kind of the gateway to all of it, because you don't have to bring anything with you. You're automatically, most likely, you're going to forget. I still forget. And then you're going to get that straw, and then you're going to be like, dang it. And it's going to be that reminder to yourself to start thinking in this zero waste mindset. Start using sustainable products. So one of the other products that we did was these toothbrushes, and we had them made for our office, and we gave everyone one, and everyone liked something with their name on it. And then that was just one less thing that our team had that was plastic. So you can find these ways to reduce your waste and also give something, I think it's more beautiful than a plastic toothbrush. And you can introduce things little at a time for your family. You don't have to do everything all at once. But as you need something new, you try to think about it and replace it. If you bring your own bags and containers for grocery or shopping, it's one of those things where everyone has a bag laying around in their house. You just have to remember to bring it. And the same thing goes. I really like these. So I use these right here. And I think almost every Vietnamese person has one in their home, or their grandma has one. So it's really easy just to remember it, and you bring it out with you. when you go. And it's been fine for me to go get street food or something and just have them put it in the container. They really don't care. It's a pretty simple way to go. We even do something now with restaurants where I have my favorite restaurants and I will give them a couple of those containers. I make a deal with them first, but I will give them a couple of those containers. They bring me the food and then I give them an empty container back. So I just do it with the places that I really like and I eat all the time. But then that's a way they know that I'm gonna keep coming to give them business. And also I make sure I get my food with no plastic. One of the important things is about zero waste that I try to promote is it's not just about our own practices, but really every time we buy something, it's also a choice that we're saying, okay, I'm okay with this amount of waste that I'm gonna bring into my house, or I'm not okay with it. One of the ones that we do is there's this brand, Pho Milk, which I really like. It's really like high quality milk, and they will deliver it to me in glass. We use it, and then when they deliver the milk the next time, I just give it back to them. You know, it's like the milkman. So the milkman's making a comeback, and you know, you can find your own thing like that. There's all kinds of options. We actually have a lot of the resources for this on our website. So if you want restaurants and things like that that are low waste, then we try and make that resource available. So there's lots of eco-friendly shops now that have popped up in like the last year, and these are a couple of them. This one up here, how do you say that? Lazan. So they're more like a grocery store, and they do a lot of bulk. So you can bring your own containers and shop there. A lot of these, we have links to these in our website as well, but supporting these businesses helps them grow and helps more of them open up, because there was only a couple, and when people started seeing it worked, more and more opened up. If you like to get crafty, you can make your own things. You can make your own soaps. You can make your own food wraps. You can make a food wrap with like a cheesecloth and some beeswax. I'm not really the type of person that loves this, but some of our staff, my wife, some of our interns, they love to like get together. They'll make like shampoos, or they'll make deodorant and that kind of things. Toothpaste, you can make it. So if you're into that kind of thing, there's all kinds of tutorials online. You can just make your own stuff. And some people are really into it. The last one for personal is the new one that I'm trying to do more and more is leave reviews. Make your voice heard, because every time you leave a review, the businesses that you leave reviews for, they really care about those reviews. They really need them. So if someone's doing something good, highlight it on their TripAdvisor or on their Facebook, wherever it is. And if there's something that you really love, some food item, some place you like to go, but you feel guilty about it because they're using a bunch of plastic or they're using a bunch of waste, then tell them about it. Send them a quick email saying, hey, I love your products, but could you please try to do something about this, because I don't want to have to throw away all this waste that you're giving me. The good example of this is recently, I think this was just last week, Coke and I think Pepsi too, they cut ties with the Plastics Industry Association, which is a pretty big deal, hopefully. And they're the big lobby that lobbies on behalf of plastic to the US government. So they're doing this because of pressure that's been put on by the global community about this issue. And I just wanted to highlight that, because if that can be done, it's one of the toughest things for a brand like this to get away from plastic. So the fact that they have made this kind of choice is because of how many people raised their voices and said they wanted this. And I think that can happen for all these other items if we just tell people that's what we want. In the office. So I'm so glad that you guys are already doing some things. I was talking to Kelly. You guys have been thinking about this stuff since January, if not before that. So I think these are some things that you could quickly implement. So it's so important to reduce waste as a business, especially when you're in production and that kind of thing, because if you buy a product, you use it and you throw the packaging away, for every 1 kilogram that you used, it took 32 kilograms of waste to even make that product. So that's even more of a reason to think about trying to reduce your waste or buying from someone that's zero waste, because you're not just throwing away that packaging that you used. If it's a business that doesn't have waste-free practices, you're wasting even more in the production side that we are supporting when we buy those products. So it's really important as creators and producers that we think about this and try and reduce as much as possible. The other thing about it is the easiest place to start is the office culture. So a lot of this is about changing basic stuff for office culture. And then once everyone is on the same mindset, you guys can start working on your individual areas that you specialize in and reducing waste there. Simple one is bring your own bottle or mug. Maybe you guys are already starting to do that. You guys seem fairly progressive. So that's great. It's a simple one. Avoid takeaway. So there's a couple good solutions here. Of course, you can bring your own lunch. That can save you a lot of money as well. The other one is just make sure, go out to a restaurant. Don't order delivery. Make it kind of like a tradition or a ritual with friends to go out rather than order delivery. The other one that I really like that a company like you guys could do is partner with a restaurant and do something like those tiffins and have them fill up for everyone. They bring the containers here, you eat, and then they take them back. You guys can do those kind of partnerships if everyone's on board and willing to partner with a caterer or something like that. This one's super simple. Change all the printers to double-sided printing, a really easy fix that will cut paper use in half. Digitize a reporting process. This could get a little bit more complex, of course, but anytime you take something and bring it online, you're going to save all that paper for that process. And it takes a little bit of time in the initial stage to set that up. But once it's set up, then you're saving all those resources. If you can switch to recycled paper or like 30% recycled paper, something like that, you'll be doing a lot of good as well. Just try not to use virgin paper. If you can, use recycled paper. So another simple one, just turn off all your devices when you leave at the end of the day. Just in summary, we're realizing that there's a lot of animals and parts of the world that are affected by our choices that we weren't thinking about 10, 15 years ago. And it's important that we realize that our choices do affect the rest of the world. And there's lots of things that can't come and tell you here that, hey, I'm being affected by this. So it's our responsibility to know that. And we need to take responsibility for the things that we buy and the things that we throw away. Because really, the thing I love about the zero waste movement is that you can just start saying no to it. Like climate change is so complicated and a lot of people don't know where to start with it. But the reason why this movement is picking up is because everyone can be a part of it right now. And you can do something small on your own, or you can get really into it and you can try and affect businesses to change what they're doing. And it's really a hands-on, action-oriented solution to our big problems. So yeah, that's pretty much all. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your attention.